I did not think anyone would be brash enough to simply resell satellite dish streaming without permission. But someone is accused of that very thing in a lawsuit that was just filed by Dish Network and Nagrastar, who is, I think, the security contractor for Dish Network.
This is a community-supported legal education channel. Find out how you can support our mission at the links in the description below.
So you guys know what Dish Network is, right? We know what satellite TV is. It's TV that's streamed from satellites to a satellite dish. It's a one-way connection. Sometimes in the olden day, you used to have a modem, used to have a phone line, and then it would dial out with the phone line to request things or whatever. But now with the advent of the internet, it can transmit using the internet if you're going to order things on demand or if you have a code to unlock or whatever. But the main signal is still a high quality signal that is beamed down by satellite. And so they charge, normal prices. I don't mean, which by normal I mean high prices for satellite TV, anywhere from $40 or $50 a month, I believe, at the minimum, up into the hundreds of dollars a month for these full packages with sports packages and all that and stuff too. I know because I used to be a DirecTV subscriber. And Dish Network is one of their competitors. They are the fourth largest pay television provider in the U.S., deliver programming to millions of subscribers through satellite systems and security technologies provided by Nagrastar. Defendants are involved in operating illicit streaming services that capture Dish's satellite communications of television programming and rebroadcast that Dish programming without authorization to customers that purchased the equipment needed to access these services from defendants. So they didn't purchase Dish satellites, they purchased some set-top box that plugs into the internet and their TV from the defendants, Boom Media. So let's see what they are accused of. Boom Media is the alter ego of John Henderson. The entity was formed for purposes of carrying out the rebroadcasting scheme, has no owners or employees other than Henderson, operates in his home, fails to observe corporate formalities, such as filing its annual report, is undercapitalized for its liabilities, and commingles its assets and holds assets and equity that can be used to satisfy a judgment. Aside from that last part, those are the elements of piercing the corporate veil, or at least there's this version of it, which is what Northern District of New York. So this is New York's version of piercing the corporate veil. What in the world is the corporate veil? Well, if you're familiar with corporations, you know what I'm talking about. If you are not familiar with how corporations work in the U.S., and even if you are, you might not be familiar with how it can be pierced. So the corporation is a protector from liability of the individuals who are part of the corporation, members of the corporation. So if I, Leonard French, start a corporation called Lawful Masses, and later on Lawful Masses, if it's properly formed, properly capitalized, and properly insured, this is important. So if it's run properly, does its taxes and all that stuff, if it's a proper corporation, and Lawful Masses gets sued and loses, or even just gets sued and has to spend all of its money, at least Leonard French can't be personally held liable directly for that lawsuit. Now, there's lots of practicalities in the real world. When Leonard French goes to get a bank loan for Lawful Masses, Lawful Masses doesn't own anything. Leonard French owns everything. So they're not going to give Lawful Masses a bank loan. So Leonard French will still be on the hook for Lawful Masses because the bank loan would have personally been guaranteed by him. So that's how it really works in the real world. But for strict purposes of corporate form without bank loans and all that, and if someone is properly capitalized, then they won't need bank loans, etc. But what I'm saying is the corporate form protects a person from liability. If you don't follow the corporate form properly, if you are undercapitalized, underinsured, if you're these things that they said about John Henderson, then you could lose that corporate form and the protection that it has, even if you have paid the fees and all that, even if you've otherwise held the corporate form out to be a corporate form. If you haven't done it properly, then it doesn't matter. Dish uses satellites to broadcast television programming to millions of subscribers across the U.S. They contract for and purchase the right to broadcast programming aired on its platform from networks, motion picture distributors, pay and specialty broadcasters, sports leagues, other rights holders. Dish's subscribers have access to hundreds of channels, including movies, sports programs, and general entertainment services, which we are just going to call programming. Nagrastar provides conditional access security technologies used to authorize the subscriber's receipt of the programming. Dish programming is uplinked to satellites as an encrypted communication, then retransmitted from those satellites to subscribers that purchased from Dish the right to view such programming and have the equipment necessary to receive and decrypt the communications, including a satellite receiver, smart card, and set-top box, and a television. The rebroadcasting scheme, quotes, is based on the unauthorized retransmission of Dish programming on the, count them with me, MFG TV, Beast TV, Nitro TV, Marrocco Streams, Epic IPTV, Vader Streams, and OK2 services. That's 7 different services. Defendants Deborah and John Henderson and Boom Media participate in the rebroadcasting scheme by selling codes on their website located at boommedia.org, which here is boommedia.org. So if you go to Vane Video on Demand has the latest TV shows, all seasons, the latest movies, UFC, WWE, boxing replays, premium TV shows, all seasons, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, YouTube movies, and TV shows, all seasons. Wow. And this is all allegedly authorized, right, guys? Nope, of course not. The codes they sell on the website are designed and produced to enable a set-top box or other internet-enabled device to access servers used to retransmit Dish programming to customers on those various streaming services. Wow. Let's take a look here back at this website. Here is, I think, one of the set-top boxes. The Formula Z8 contains the newest decoding technologies, Android at its core, hours of streaming media enjoyment, $20 shipping to Canada, $150 cost, an advanced USB PVR, pause and rewind live TV, real-life HDR color, text specs, 4K output, gigabit Ethernet, dual-band networking. Yeah, it's one of these generic set-top box things you can buy and program with basically any kind of any package of software that you would like, basically Android or Linux or something, and then you can program it to your heart's content. They can do anything. You can do anything you can program them to do, and so they program them to stream this media, and I'm assuming they have a server set up someplace that categorizes and catalogs the media and then puts it out for their customers. Defendants give, this is all allegedly, by the way. There's a big disclaimer here. This is all allegedly. This is a complaint. I don't know anything about Boom Media that I haven't discovered tonight reading this. Defendants give the following overview of the streaming services. We already went over Vane, for example. Choose from hundreds of TV shows, connections from 2 IPs, etc. Web player, one of them has adult content. Others have adult content. Several of them have adult content. I wonder if that could have anything to do with parts of this. Defendants tout the availability of sports programs, pay-per-view events, adult content, etc. The Dish programming retransmitted on the various networks or services is originally received from Dish's satellite communications without authorization from Dish. During testing, encoded messages inserted in Dish's satellite communications were observed on multiple channels retransmitted to customers of those services, including the Willow Cricket, A&E, Sci-Fi, and Cooking Channel, among others, thereby confirming this programming originated from Dish's satellite communications. So they digitally watermarked the satellite transmission and then watched their watermark appear on Boom TV's retransmitted broadcast. That's pretty much an open and shut case. I mean, that's really what I would want as a plaintiff's attorney, to take a case like this to court and be sure that we were going to win. Defendants sell device codes at boommedia.org for approximately $10 to $20 per month of access, depending upon whether a customer purchased one of these services. Defendants also sold loaded or programmed set-top boxes for $150, which we just saw, which are set-top boxes pre-configured with device codes. Defendant Deborah Henderson receives payments for the device codes and set-top boxes purchased through Boom Media. There's the PayPal to Deborah Henderson. On information and belief, defendants Deborah and John Henderson are together responsible for the operation of Boom Media and share in the proceeds of the device codes and set-top boxes sold through the website. On information and belief, defendants directly engage in, aid, and abet, or act within the scope of a principal-agent relationship with persons that are capturing and retransmitting dish programming provided through the rebroadcasting scheme. Defendants state on boommedia.org that we reserve the right to control content and we may add or remove channels at any time. So who knows if they're the only people behind this, but someone is reselling dish programming, and then these people are setting up a scheme to resell it under their own brand. In a video posted to the Boom Media YouTube channel, here's the Boom Media YouTube channel. I didn't feel like trying to figure out how to make, what to make a fair use of this. So I figured I would just show you this channel. And it looks like you've got some things like Extreme codes shut down. Is it true? What's next? Update after Extreme codes shut down. Update on services. Install downloader now on NVIDIA Shield. Update on Beast TV. So these guys are setting up some kind of TV streaming service. Who knows really how, but looks like super out in the open, like, look how awesome we are. We've made a pirate TV service. And I don't know how people think they are going to get away with this for very long at all. But look how far they've got. Like, they've got this website and they've got a device and they've got a whole business set up and everything. So on that, they say, defendant John Henderson informed customers that you guys are buying pirated streams. This shit is not Hulu. It's not Netflix. It's pirated effing streams. It's no different than buying knockoff shoes. It's black market. So, violations of the Federal Communications Act are alleged. These are violations of, I guess, the act that protects broadcasters, because they are selling and redistributing codes and devices for the purposes of rebroadcasting without authorization. The plaintiff, Dish Network, asks for a permanent injunction that prohibits defendants from conducting the rebroadcasting scheme, selling or distributing device codes or devices, allowing plaintiffs to take possession of and destroy all device codes and devices, a order permanently transferring their domain names to plaintiffs, an order directing defendants to preserve and turn over hard drives and electronic records, award Dish the actual damages together with profits or statutory damages of $10,000 per violation. Damages should be increased to $100,000 per violation because of 47 USC 605 E3C2. Well, yeah. I remember. I know what that one is. Leonard French is so smart. Yeah, he's just going to know exactly what that one is as soon as he looks it up here. Unauthorized publication of communications. We got that part. Kind of figured that was going to be something like this. It was E something, something, something. Damages of up to $100,000 or even more than $100,000. Here's also another two. Willful. Yep. I was going to guess that it was for willfulness. It's for a willful violation. So that's up to $100,000 per device for willful violations. $100,000 per device for willful violations. Holy mackerel. Award plaintiffs their attorney's fees and a complete and accurate accounting of all profits, pre- and post-judgment interest, and all additional relief the court deems just and equitable. So, yeah, that's a little bit blatant, don't you think? Just selling Dish's service for buy one copy or one license for, buy one subscription to Dish's service and then go and resell it to all of your customers.
I wanted to add to the story that if every single one of the people who are subscribed to the Boom TV channel also own a box, that's $2.3 billion in damages.
Holy mackerel. How did we know how many people were subscribed?
It was like 23,000. So I just multiplied 23,000 by 100,000.
So you're basing that off their YouTube channel. If all the YouTube channel subscribers have a set-top box, then yeah. Okay. Sith Rebel asks, so are these the guys that runs these IPTV services, or do they just sell them the Dish content? I don't know. I'm assuming that they're selling them a stream, they're just reselling the individual channels from Dish. Somebody bought, because I'm sure that this technology exists, somebody bought a box that can decode the Dish stream, even if it needs like a licensed or authorized subscription. They only need really one. And then if they can decode all the channels, that's the problem, is you can't decode all the channels at once. You've usually only got one, not variable frequency oscillator, but sort of the equivalent. You've got one decoder or two decoders in there, that operate at any one time. So you need something that can decode all the channels. However, they figured out how to do that, then that information is being fed into a set-top box streaming server type thing that is taking the feeds and then feeding them to the various customers.
Yeah, it's very similar to the way that in some apartment complexes, they'll have contracted with one provider. So like maybe you live in an apartment complex that's contracted with Xfinity or Comcast. So basically everybody who plugs into the cable wall has to buy Comcast or they can't get anything.
Yeah.
A lot of times in those apartment complexes, somebody will have figured out how to decode the signal for that exclusive provider.
Yeah.
And they can just provide internet to anybody in the building for free, essentially.
And a lot of those services, whether you may or may not know it, but a lot of TV companies broadcast basic cable or at least a couple channels unencrypted. So even if you don't have a subscription, you can still plug in your TV if it has a tuner, and you should be able to decode some signals from the cable in the wall. So that is our show, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. I'm going to let you go with a short one here. Thank you to our sponsor for the month of October, Joshua Davis from TandaPay. Thank you to our $50 plus supporters, who are Joe Tyson, Aspernari, John Steele, Gavin Barnard, Eevi, Kyle Mudrak, Michael Pearce, Spirit Bear, Jan Negrey, Daniel Perez, Snorre Wisotzky, Blackleaf, and Benjamin Hitov. And thank you to the $5 plus supporters scrolling on the LED panel behind me and the crawl in front of me. Please support us on patreon.com/ljfrench and sponsors.com/law. Sorry, Brandon, for screwing the order of that up. I am Leonard French, your favorite copyright attorney. I'll see you in the videos that drop. Have a good one. Love you all. Bye.